What it do, my YouTube family, my car enthusiasts? I'm getting straight into the video because I'm pretty irritated because I don't really know why there's not that much content over like simple stuff like this. But so I'm installing a DigiDash. It's not a Dakota, it's an Intellitronix. I wouldn't advise you guys really to go out to get this unless you're really on a budget and you don't really care about any of that extra stuff. But Dakota Digital is pretty much a go-to, but I know it's pretty pricey, so it's like, you know, what do? Do I get the auto meter? Do I get the, you know what I'm saying, rock out with the stock gauges or the Intellitronix? I would not suggest to get this, but do what you do, you know what I'm saying? It's still a cool looking dash, you know what I'm saying? It's just a little bit more complicated than a Dakota Digital. So, but I'm going to thoroughly explain how to install this. You know what I'm saying? I got my notes over there and I got everything organized. I pretty much know where everything is going to go, but let's get into explaining what all it will come with. So if you look at your instructions, you know what I'm saying, all of this is straightforward, but I'm going to explain all of that when we're actually getting to installing it. It's going to come with a sensor for on a tail shaft for like the speedometer, and then it's going to come with a coolant temperature sensor. And shit, I already got it taken apart. It's a lot of tiny screws. You gotta take off all your extra little stuff and the bulbs and all that extra stuff, but other than that, it goes straight into that. But the main focus right now is this wiring. You know what I'm saying? Figuring out what's what and where do we plug it at and all of that, and what do we get from, you know what I'm saying, from what. So that's my main objective, is showing you guys what's what and where to plug it up at. So let me grab my notes. So start off from here first. From all the wires, this is going to be, these 3 wires right here are going to be for your speedometer. It's going to have a black and a white with a black stripe, a red with a like pink stripe and a white one. This one's going to be like the ground, of course. This is going to be like switch 12 power. This one's going to be like the signal wire. But I believe, I don't know for sure, but I believe, and we're going to test it out by the end of this video, we should know if this is, you know what I'm saying, correct. If I'm just supposed to plug all 3 of these wires up to all 3 of the wires to right here. Y'all probably can't see that, but just know it's the same color wires right there. All right. So that's these 3, you know what I'm saying? And then you got another red and black wire. This red wire is going to be your switch 12. This is going to be a straight red wire, and this black wire is going to be a straight ground. I got 2 spots where to put these without pulling anything. Like this red wire will go to a pink wire. There is a pink wire right there. That's underneath the steering column, and that's your switch 12s. I think pretty much all GM vehicles is pink for the ignition wire, and that's where I would get my my switch 12 for this red one. And for this ground wire, let me look at my notes. Ground would be number 9 on this pigtail. I cut some wires already, but bear with me. Number 9. So this will be your ground right here. So I had to cut that one out, and I'll run that wire straight to the straight black wire on here. And then let's see, for your dim wire, this purple wire on the dash, this is your dim wire. Let's see, dim will be dark brown on your switch. So right here, let me zoom in so you guys can see that. It's gonna be dark brown right here, and this is your like your dim switch. It's gonna be dark brown on that. It's gonna be that wire. So you would tap into that wire, T into it, whatever. I'm probably just gonna splice into it. That's gonna be for your dim wire. And then you got gray, straight gray, and then you got another, that's like a dark gray with a black stripe. That's gonna be your left and right turn signals. And for those, it will be For your right turn signal, it'd be dark blue, but there's two of them. So I'm gonna have to test and see which one it is. I would still do it regardless if you're watching this video or not. I would still test to see which one it is. And then for your left, it would be light blue. You have to test and see which one it is. I would just literally put the key in and turn my turn signals on left and right, and then see which one it is. I believe most of these wires came with the ground as well. You know what I'm saying? That's why there's two of each wire pretty much. But that's for that. And then for your fuel pump, let's see, where's the fuel pump? Fuel pump will be yellow. This one. This will be for the ground. The yellow, the black with the yellow will be the ground for a fuel pump, the fuel sending unit. I'm just gonna, I don't know for sure, but I'm just gonna ground this wire out to see what it do. This one is your signal wire. This straight yellow one on the dash is your signal wire. And on here it will be number 4, pink one. So it'd be this one. I already cut it, but number 4. This blue one right here is for coolant, and you just run that straight to that coolant sensor. This black and blue stripe one, I don't know if it's really not picking up because it's kind of dark in here. I would just ground that. I would ground that on the engine block. Yeah, so for your oil sensor, I think that's the last one that I'm leaving out besides the tach. The tachometer, yeah, the tach is green on the Intellitronix. You will run that to your distributor wire. I think that is pink as well, or brown. For the most part, it seems easy, but then again, I understand it can get overwhelming, you know what I'm saying, because there's a lot of wires that you gotta plug and play, you know, and then you gotta figure out what's what. The tools you'll need, you just need a wire crimper, some connectors, some butt connectors. I was gonna use a plug and tie up all these wires and then like have 2 plugs so I can just unplug it just in case, but I'm just gonna use like a female and a male connector, waterproof, and then just splice them in together and call it a day pretty much. And then that way I can still test it out. You know, I don't want to finalize any of this. I still want to test it out. That's the hard part. You know what I'm saying? Figuring out the wiring is the hard part. The rest is kind of like straightforward, easy. Just unscrewing a lot of these tiny little bolts. So I might put you guys on time lapse. If I don't, then I'm going to thoroughly explain what I did and probably show you guys little bits and clips. Like the video and comment. If you don't comment, your mama is a wonderful person. I don't really care. Peace. Not peace. I'll be right back. This is pretty much what I got right now. So with them double wires, I just tied them together. So for my left and right turn signal, I just tied them pretty much all together. And then for this, these are the left and right turn signals right here. And then for this pink stripe wire, well, no, it's straight pink. You know, like I said, fuel pump wire. And then for this straight black wire, it's your ground. So any grounds that you need, oh, it's right here. So for any grounds that you need, pretty much run it to that wire, so you don't have to run it nowhere else. And then you got your switch 12 wires, is pink and stripe wire. There's 2 of them, right there, and right there. And you pretty much use that for any switch 12. But for the Intellitronix, it does not call for a power wire or anything like that. It only calls for a ground wire. It calls for a couple switch 12s, or I think only 1. So you don't really have to run too many extra wires besides like the oil pressure sensor or the speedometer wire, and maybe the coolant wire. Those are the only extra wires you have to run. Other than that, that's pretty much it. If you do need to run power, you would get it from this orange wire and this plug. And this plug right here. You'll get it from this orange wire and this red wire if you do need to run that. So no need to run the pink wire off the steering column. You just run it from that pink, that striped pink and black wire. And that's pretty much all the wiring you would need for the Intellitronix. About to get all this stuff put together and put in here and then see what it's going to do. That's pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I explained that way better. Let me know in the comments if y'all think so as well. I feel like I explained that way better than a lot of stuff you can see. And I'll probably, before I plug everything up, I'll probably explain it one more time for the folks that need visual instead of just words. like more visual, you know what I'm saying? Because I already showed you, but get this knocked out real quick. And here we have it. I'm pretty much at the end goal, whatever. This is how I have all my wires routed from the dash to everything else, you know what I'm saying? These are all the wires that need to go through the cab and hook up everywhere for like oil pressure sensor. I mean, like the oil pressure sensor, the coolant, the tach, and the speedometer, like the speedometer plug and stuff like that. It's pretty much a straightforward job, you know what I'm saying? It took me a while because I had to do a lot of cleaning up and some other things. But for my tach wire, I came off from, I don't really know if this is correct, I'm gonna see. But I came off of that yellow wire right there on the distributor. Most people say on forums that I looked up, they said that wire should be white, or you should see a white or tan wire along in like your harness or whatever. But I came from there, so if y'all have any issues or whatever trying to figure out the tach wire, that's how I ran my tach wire, and the rest of it is straightforward. You run a wire from the coolant temperature sensor to the wire on the dash, oil pressure sensor, same thing, and the wires, if you got that speedometer plug as well, you just run those 3 wires straight to the 3 wires on the dash. So it's pretty easy. I believe I have not started this car up since I changed the transmission, so I believe once I turn the key, everything should light up. Yeah, other than reading instructions and trying to figure out how to calibrate and stuff like that, but for the most part, I want to say it's all correct. I'll cut y'all back on after I like put trans fluid in it and stuff like that. Make sure the transmission is working properly, because that was the main task I had to do it on this car. So